I played baseball all the way up until my senior year at Arizona State, where my 15 games into my senior year, I had a traumatic knee operation. It was a cadaver transplant of my meniscus. I was the first person in Arizona to ever have this procedure. This doctor, the head orthopedic surgeon at the time at Arizona State, really sold this surgery to me really well. And he said, you have the knee of a 90-year-old man. You're going to have your knee replaced in a couple of years. It's unheard of to have your knee replaced at 22, 23 years old. However, there is this new alternative. It's been done 7 times across the country. It's been a success. And if it all goes well, it'll be like having a new knee. And you might even be able to play again at some point. This is the head orthopedic surgeon at ASU. I'm a baseball player on this team. He's not going to fuck me over.
Right.
He's got my best interest. And so I never got a second opinion. I just said, okay, let's do it. And the day that I woke up from that surgery, I knew that baseball was over for me and I would never play again. I remember waking up in this hospital bed. It was completely dark. I was alone. I had a morphine drip. It would go off every 10 minutes, and every 9 minutes, I'm just like pushing it. Yeah. And this was pre-addiction. This was like, I needed it for the pain. Yeah. I was so screwed. I looked down at my leg, and just from the massive signs and scars of trauma to the unbearable pain, like I knew baseball was over for me. And so from that day, and for many years after, that's where my world got turned upside down from a life of addiction. Early on, so I'm a baseball player. I don't really have another plan. All my identity is wrapped up into this. That's how I got. You're
like major leagues.
Yeah, that was like, at least I'm going to do everything I can. And typically, like back in the day, Arizona State was a very reputable. They've fallen a little bit, but if you played for them, you would get a chance at least to go to the minors and give it a run. And so that was the goal. And so for that to be uprooted and not having any kind of plan, and I got all my
death of a whole identity. I know a lot of elite athletes when they retire, there's that, but to have it taken away, dude.
Yeah, and so also to go back in, and this was identified later on after doing a lot of work on myself, but understanding that I got so much validation through my dad, through performance, where I wasn't maybe getting it in other ways, or there wasn't ways that I felt safe. So I would get it through performance, and that's where I would get my validation. So for one day, for that to be completely stripped of me, well, of course, and then on top of it, this traumatic surgery, I'm bedridden for a month and a half. I have to drop out of my classes my senior year because I couldn't even get out of bed. I would take a shower like every 3 days, and just getting up and crutching over to the shower and trying to lift my leg over the shower, it would wipe me out for like a day. Completely just done.
Like with that, I'm guessing wasn't a typical response. Like even if you get MCL stuff, usually people are riding a bike, I think later that week, right? To keep the mobility. But with this, like, was it just a complete rejection of it?
I don't know. I know like when they go in to do that surgery, they have to actually take off your kneecap, like break off your kneecap to go in to do the surgery.
So they cut your patella tendon.
Yeah. So it's massive. And the way my knee looked, my knee was like swollen, bent. And so part of the rehab process was to straighten it. So I would sleep in this CPM machine that would extend and bend your leg for half the night. And then the other half, I would try to sleep, and I was all whacked out. I was taking 80 Percocet a week for a month straight. And so I would have these dreams like I was fighting, and my knee is stuck bent, like in the middle of the night, kick my leg out and extend it out like I'm kicking in a fight.
Oh, God.
And then I would just be like, it was the worst pain I've ever felt in my life. And I'm crying my eyes out. My mom's trying to take care of me. She doesn't know whether to call 911 or what to do.
Yeah.
And so like a month and a half later, I turned the corner pain-wise, but I was taking 80 Percocet a week for a month straight, and then the doctor just cut me off cold turkey.